Grandpa,
Uh,
tell me about your favorite childhood memory.
Favorite child? I ain't got no such thing. Oh, okay. We were, we were living in the North Dakota, and we were living in a real nice house. I don't know how we got there, but across there was a whoever lived in the property next to us. It was big ranches. I mean, this wasn't houses. Uh, their fence was right up against our property. Uh, he had a horse, and I must have been, yeah, when we left the Dakotas, I was 5 years old. Yeah, okay. So I must have been around 4 or 5, and I crawled over. I went over there and I crawled up on the fence and I got on that horse and I rode it around. I can remember. I can still remember that.
That's your favorite. Did you get caught?
Huh?
Did you ever get caught?
No, nobody paid much attention to me.
That was your favorite childhood memory?
Well, I don't know.
What about your brothers and sister?
I never had fond memories of my brothers and sisters. I had to take care of them for 4 years while the Second War was going on. Because my mom and dad both worked 12 hours a day.
You guys didn't do anything fun? You guys didn't do anything fun?
Fun. No, not that I know of. When we finally moved to St. Louis and I started growing up, we had cars. The folks bought, mom and dad bought cars that you could ride the street cars. No buses, just street cars, and on them carts. And so I used to get on the car and ride all over St. Louis. And they had a big park there in either in St. Louis or outside of St. Louis. And I used to go over to the park because it was at a big woods, something like this. And used to roam around there quite a bit. Yeah, I remember that. Oh,
Well, I thought you invented like trick-or-treating or some sort of...
well, I invented that. Yeah.
How did you invent that?
Well, it was not. I didn't invent it as had an idea and invented it, but I went down to Halloween that evening. I went down to the store. I was probably 9 or 10, something like that, and this was in St. Louis, and I walked. I don't remember exactly how I did it, but I went into the store, and I was watching people come in and out and stuff. I must have went in there to buy something, and I just told the people for something. I don't remember why no more. I just told them it's trick or treat, and oh well, and then they give me some candy or something, and I said, oh, maybe that's all right. So I went to another store and I did the same thing, and so I invented it, and then the next year, other people were doing it. So,
You didn't dress up though? Did you
Oh,
dress?
no dress up. Just trick or treat. Yeah. Yeah, that part of it come later. I mean, that was what the main thing kids used to do back in those days. See, we had outside toilets. You didn't have toilets in the house,
Right.
and we used to work on them toilets and do one thing or another to them. It caused quite a bit of problems. But that was the main trick or treat that was the main trick we did. That wasn't a trick or treat. That was just a trick. Yeah. Yeah. But it was mainly the toilets, because there wasn't much else to do.
How did you get your social security number?
Well, I wanted to go to work in the baseball park, selling pop and stuff, and they told me I had to be 16. I think is what they told me, and I was probably about 10 or 12, 10 or 11, maybe 12, because when we left St. Louis. So I must have been 10 or 11, and so I went with my dad one time downtown St. Louis on a streetcar, and he got his driver's license, and he went into this place, and he gave him 50 cents, and they gave him his driver's license, and there was no tests or nothing. You just bought your driver's license.
Huh.
And I had heard something about you had to be 16 to have a Social Security card. That's what I heard. And so I went to, I don't remember where it was that I got the thing, but I went and filled out some paper stuff and put down there I was 16, and I got the Social Security card. And then I went over to the park and I showed them this, because by the time I was 10 years old, I was 6 foot tall. I was skinny. I didn't weigh but probably 80 pounds, but I was tall.
Yeah.
And so I didn't have no trouble convincing them I was 16 years old. And then I went into the park and I started selling pop and stuff. Yeah.
And did you get to watch the baseball games?
Yeah. No, every kid in St. Louis could watch. And when school was out at 3 o'clock, see, there wasn't at that time, they didn't have night games. There was all day games.
Huh.
And, I mean, eventually, before we left St. Louis or something, they started putting lights in the parks, but they originally didn't have lights in the park.
So you couldn't play at night. They couldn't play at night then.
No, there was no night games. But anyway, we had two teams in St. Louis, the St. Louis Cardinals and the St. Louis Browns, and the National League for the Cardinals and the American League for the Browns. And you were allowed to go to the ballpark when you got out of school at 3 o'clock if they were still playing, and generally they were probably in the 5th or 6th inning or something like that, and they'd let you go in for free. You could watch baseball free. It didn't cost you nothing to watch it.
Things have changed.
Huh?
Things have changed. It costs so much money now to get in.
Oh, well, yeah, it was different. But that was the reason. The reason I got the Social Security card is so I could sell pop in the ball fields.
So, because you lied about your age, did that ever give you any troubles?
Well, it did when I applied for Social Security. It didn't give me any trouble, but I can't remember what they said. They, well, how come you didn't get it? I don't know. I might have been 10 when I got, or 11 when I got it, and so I was lying about my age about 5 years. So they wondered how come I waited till 62. Yeah, I signed up for 62, and well, I didn't get it because by then I was 67 in the Social Security thing. But it didn't bother them. I mean, they didn't. I told them I know I lied about my age, and
So,
maybe I had to get a birth certificate or something. I don't remember. I probably did.
did it give you any issues when you went into the
Huh?
Navy? Did you have any issues with it when you went into the
No,
Navy?
no, no.
They didn't care.
That was different. No, no, they didn't. There was no question. Of course, I was 18. Yeah, I was 18 then, and I was a man by then, so I didn't have any trouble getting into the Navy.